Hey, what's up guys? It's your favorite YouTuber here. Today we're going to talk about Python. Python, as you know, it's one of the most popular programming languages out there. Python is ubiquitous, as many of you might have known. Python is being embedded in like each and every technology out there, like everywhere, like all these school students, college kids, wherever they want to learn a new programming language in schools, everyone's teaching Python, and Python is a very popular programming language. So let's get into it. All right, so what is Python? Well, it's a high-level general-purpose programming language that's used for a wide range of tasks, including web development, data analysis, scientific computing, and more. It's known for its simplicity, readability, and flexibility, making it a great choice for beginners and experienced programmers alike. One of the things that sets Python apart from its simplicity and readability, unlike some other programming languages that use curly braces or keywords to indicate blocks of code, Python uses indentation, which makes it easier to understand for beginners. Python also has a large number of built-in data types like numbers, strings, lists, dictionaries, which can make it easier to manipulate and process data, which we'll get into shortly. Like we're going to go through all of those most important features, and we're going to get not a deep dive, but we're just going to go to high level, superficially understand what it entails. Okay. But don't let the simplicity fool you. Python is also an incredibly versatile. It can be used for all sorts of programming tasks, from web development and data analysis to scientific computing and machine learning. And with a large number of libraries and frameworks available, it's easy to accomplish specific tasks or automation and work with certain types of data. So how do you get started with Python? Well, first you need to install it on your computer, so you can download it from official Python website and run the installer. Once it's installed, you can use the Python interpreter to write and execute Python code. Overall, Python is a powerful and versatile programming language that's worth checking out if you're interested in getting into coding. Whether you're starting out or you're an experienced developer looking to expand your skills, Python has a lot to offer. Okay, so now let's get into why Python is a programming language, like why Python is a popular programming language. First is simplicity and readability. Python has a simple and easy to learn syntax, which makes it a great language for beginners. Its code is also easy to read and understand, which makes it easier to work with experienced programmers. Okay, and second, versatility. Python can be used for a wide range of programming tasks, including web development, as I said earlier, data analysis, scientific computing, and much more. This versatility makes it a popular choice for many types of projects. Okay, like Django, as you might have known, is being used for visualizations, for data analytics. People use Python. Okay, and large standard library. Python comes with a large standard library, which means that there are so many common programming tasks that can be accomplished, such as file input output, or like taking an input from a standard IO without installing additional libraries. This can save time and make it easier to get started with a new project. Large and active community. Python has a large and active community of users, which makes it easy to find help and support when needed. There are also many resources available for learning Python, including books, online courses, and forums. There is a massive open source community surrounding Python as well, developing incredibly powerful libraries that you can take advantage of. Last, compatibility with other languages. Python is compatible with many other programming languages, which makes it easy to integrate with existing systems and workflows. This can particularly be useful for organizations that already have a large code base in another language. Overall, Python's simplicity, versatility, and large community of users makes it a popular choice for many types of programming projects. All right, so there are several other features that makes Python a unique programming language. When it comes to syntax, Python has a simple and readable syntax, which makes it an easy language to learn and work with. The indentation-based syntax of Python also makes it easier to write clean and organized code. Okay, and dynamically typed. As I mentioned earlier, Python is a dynamically typed language, which means that the type of a variable can change during the course of the program. This can make it easier to write code, as you don't have to specify the type of the variable when you declare it. I hope you guys know this is a really important feature, the dynamically typed, which is really important. That's why Python stands out. And also interpreter. Python is an interpreted language, which means that it is executed at runtime by an interpreter rather than being compiled into a machine code before it is run. This can make it easier to test and debug code, as you don't have to go through the compilation process every time you make a change to your code. Extensive standard library. As we've said earlier, Python has a large and massive community surrounded by it, with a comprehensive standard library which provides many useful functions and modules that you can repurpose in your code without having to reinvent the wheel. Okay, this can save you a lot of time and effort when developing Python programs. And object-oriented. Python is an object-oriented programming language, which means that it is based on the concept of objects that have attributes and methods. This can make it easier to organize and reuse code in a Python program. High level. Python is a high-level programming language, which means that it is easier to read and write than low-level languages like assembly or machine code. This can make it faster to develop programs in Python, as you don't have to worry much about the underlying hardware and system details. Okay, and let's quickly see what are the 10 most important basics of Python. We're going to go into each and every basics in the upcoming videos, but this is just like a gist of like why we should go with Python and what are all the basics of Python. But basics are really important before you jump into the actual bigger modules or actually reusing the language, the programming language. The basics are really crucial to understand what and why this programming language is built and how it functions. So the mechanics are really important. The variables, firstly. Variables are used to store values in a Python program, so you can use variables to store numbers, strings, and other types of data. As you might know, in any other programming languages, variables are variables, okay? Data types. Python has several built-in data types, including integers, floats, string. It is important to choose the appropriate data type of the value you want to store in your program. Okay, operators. Python has a variety of operators such as plus, minus, multiplication, division, comparison operators, less than, greater than, double equals to, and logical operators. We're gonna go deep dive into like what are each and every operator and how they function in the upcoming videos. Okay, and lists. Lists are like the type of data structures that can store a collection of values, such as array list or arrays in other programming languages. You can use lists to store a series of related values and access them using an index. As you might have been very well aware of like how lists are used in Java, like array list or like collections and all those things. Dictionaries. Dictionaries is like hash maps, as you might have known. Dictionaries are another type of data structure that can store a collection of values. Dictionaries are similar to lists, but they use keys rather than indexes to access values. We will look into it, how it works. Loops. Loops are like, as you might have known, loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. Python has two types of loops. One is regular loops and the other is while loops. So we can see how it works. Okay. Conditional statements. Conditional statements allow us to execute different blocks of code depending on whether a condition is true or false. Python has two types of conditional statements, if statements and if-else statements. Functions. Functions are a block of code that can be collected, that can be called by a name, and you can use functions to organize and reuse code in a Python language. So functions are functions, okay? It's like you write a function and then you can call that function from any other place. So modules. Modules are files that contain Python code, so you can use modules to break up a large program into smaller, more manageable chunks of code. Okay? And exception handling. Exception handling allows you to anticipate and handle errors that may occur in your Python program. This can help you prevent your program from crashing and make it more robust. All right, thank you for watching the introduction to the Python programming language. I hope you found this useful and helpful, and I encourage you to continue learning and exploring Python to see all that it has to offer. All right. Thank you.